I've known John for quite a while. He started out as a hard worker trying to get people elected, which he did a really good job. And now here he is elected as our representative, and all of you here, hopefully tonight, are going to help us get Tim elected. John?
Well, good evening. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting Tim. And Tim should be up here when we talk about Tim a little bit.
Sounds good.
It was only about 2 years ago in the same hall that we launched my kickoff for the Minnesota House. So I'm honored to be here and supporting Tim. It's there's going to be an important race, and it's important for this reason. Republicans, we talk about being for freedom, and what that means is that we want the freedom to keep more of what you earn, and we're going to work on tax reform. We want the freedom to live and work where we want to work and choose the lifestyle and the home style that we have. Democrats aren't quite there with us, and so we're going to work on our transportation system that incorporates roads and bridges so that we can access our jobs and our homes in a fashion that's convenient for us and more efficient. And we protect life, the freedom to choose life. And the Democrats are not there with us. They want to increase your taxes, they want to grow government, and they support a death culture. So I'm proud that Tim is going to be a great candidate, supporting those principles of freedom as opposed to creating a dependency culture that the Democrats, specifically in the Senate, are just trip over themselves trying to promote those issues. So we're fighting, and we're going to be campaigning on those ideas of promoting freedom in those ways. And it's a big difference, and I think we need to spread the message to the voters that there's a big difference in the candidates and in the parties. And so I think that's an important theme that we need to carry through to the election, of the differences in the parties, because there's very stark choices to make. We can see that in national politics, and if you follow the statewide politics, very big, different philosophical ideas on some of those things. So I'm proud to endorse Tim. He's a hard worker. He's helped me in my campaign, door-knocked a little bit. Was kind of new to the local politics a little bit. Wasn't shy to roll up his work sleeves and get in there, and he's helped Senator Thompson, and he's helped me. And so I know that we have a candidate here that's not afraid to work, and he's going to work hard. I'm going to make the ask of you. Thank you for contributing to his campaign tonight. I hope that perhaps you can find it reasonable to continue to support it financially, but more importantly, it's going to take a lot of hard work. The money will come. Tim's a winner, and the money will come, and we will continue to campaign hard, but we need some of your time helping door knock and lid drop in Lakeville and in Farmington. So please put that on your summer agenda. A couple 2 hours a week, and then next fall we're going to hit it even harder and make a bigger ask. So thank you for being here to support Tim. This is a great event. We've got somebody that's very well versed in the political talk. Sue Jeffers here.
Hi everyone. I want you to know I was only invited here because Tim didn't think Dave Thompson was going to be here. So I have shortened my speech because Dave is here. But first I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out here. And I want to say, when he asked you to help for an hour or two, oh hell no. Way more than that. Way more than that. It is not easy to run a campaign. It is really, really hard. And I want to tell you, most of you probably turn on your radio on Saturdays and you hear me screaming, "Are you kidding me? They did what?" And I'm railing about whatever. It was funny because a couple of the legislators walked in here, and I turned to Tim, I go, "Do we like that one?" And he'd go, yeah, we like that one a lot. And I go, "Yeah, I don't remember them being on my bad list." So, which I live in New Brighton. I got a lot of my legislators up there on my bad list. But I'm weary. I'm weary because every week I'm screaming, "Are you kidding me?" And talking about all these things that are so crazy, whether it's taxes, whether it's spending, whether it's bonding, whether it's, Who do you want to run your lives? It seems like between the state and the federal government, or local for that matter, it seems like all they want to do is interfere and make the size, scope, and expense of government bigger and bigger and bigger, more intrusive, more expensive, and I just can't take it anymore. So I think about how tired and weary I get, and then I see someone like Dave Thompson. And I have my faith restored in the legislators again. I see someone like Tim Pitcher step up and say, I'm going to run for Senate. Oh, Dave, I was so mad at you when you told me you were moving to North Dakota. I was so furious. Oh, wherever. I don't care. It's not Minnesota. I had my Dave Thompson for governor sign ready to go. I'm still mad at you. But something happens to the legislators a lot of times when they go over to the Capitol, and it's like they lose their backbone. I don't know if it's the water. I don't know if it's all the lobbyists that are just inundating them with whatever. But then you find somebody like Dave Thompson who remembers how important his faith is, who remembers how important his family is, and he's grounded, and he never loses his perspective when he's over there. He's not afraid to tell people no. Sorry, we spend too much, we intrude too much in your lives, we're done. So when I have someone like Tim, who I know is going to be like that too, he's going to stay focused on his family, focused on his faith. Where's his beautiful wife? His beautiful wife has such an incredible story. And it's amazing. A wife like that, you won't lose your perspective. And he will remember that he's working for you. He will have respect for how hard we work for our money to turn it over to the state. And we don't want them to throw it on a $2 billion light rail transit line. And I want you to remember this. That gas tax is not dead. It is not dead yet. And you know what they're trying to sneak in there too? A transit sales tax. Keep your eyes open. And keep electing. I've got a lot of good legislators. A House Rep, Roz Peterson, was here. I met a school board member. I don't know where these guys went. A city council member. You guys are so lucky. Count your blessings. Open your wallets up. That lid doesn't drop itself. If you don't like to drop lid or knock doors, come on with me. I have a lot of fun when I go out there and knock doors and talk to the neighborhoods. And you have got to support these great candidates like Tim. So you are just so lucky. Open your wallets up and sign up on that volunteer list. I only saw like 2 names on that volunteer list. I'll come back out here and hound you guys if I need to. All right, guy that I'm mad at, get up here. Come on. Dave Thompson, my awesome friend. I asked if he wanted to come on my radio show this weekend because, you know what, no one tells us what's going on at the legislature like Dave does. He's not afraid to tell us what's going on. More importantly, who's ever heard him talk to the media? He eats them up. He says exactly the right stuff. Oh, I'm going to miss you so much. I know Tim's going to do a great job, but I'm going to miss you.
Thanks, Sue. It's such an honor to be here. And many of you know that I was elected the first time in 2010, 6 years ago. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the people in this room for all that you've done for me. And people ask me, Dave, are you going to miss politics or miss the legislature? My answer is there are a lot of things I won't miss. But the one thing I will miss is this. Being in a room full of people who care about the same things, who share the values that John so eloquently talked about, and care about these things and are willing to put in the time and the effort and the money. And I will truly miss you, and the gratitude that I feel, I hope I can convey, because I'm truly honored by the help and support that you've given me. Now, Sue seems to think North Dakota and North Carolina, what's the difference? I can tell you this, in January, about 50 degrees. So I am going to miss this state. I love a lot of things about this state, and I'm going to miss the people. And I have said from the day that I got in the legislature that I believe we ought to have a citizen legislature and that people shouldn't be there forever. I had an honor to run for governor and get within 40 votes of Jeff Johnson at the convention, but my time has come and gone. And it is now time for somebody else to fill your Senate seat. It's not my Senate seat. You gave me the honor of sitting in it for 6 years, but it is the people's Senate seat. And so I got to know Tim this way. I held office hours. I believe that time was at Lakeville South, if I remember correctly. Farmington Library, okay, I've held different places. And Tim came up to see me and started talking about political matters, and I realized very quickly that he and I had a similar view of how government ought to work. And the answer to that is not much. It shouldn't do a lot of things. It should do much less than it currently does. And Tim, since then, has become incredibly active in our Senate district and in politics. Obviously got elected in Farmington and has been a tremendous contributor. And so as I've gotten to know Tim, I realized he is the kind of person that we need in this position. And I can tell you right now that we need to get out there and do the work for him. We all know that his opponent is not going to lay down. We know that his opponent has high name ID, and it is very important that we get out and help him. Let me be clear. I have no doubt that this district is still a Republican district, and that we are going to win this race. But we're not going to win it just because we should. We'll win it because we have a highly motivated candidate who I know is going to work diligently to win the race and to hold this seat. But I have said this from probably the first speech I ever gave when I ran in 2010. Politics is the ultimate team sport. The candidate cannot do it, him or herself. The candidate has to have the financial support, the boots on the ground to deliver the lit, to do the mailings and all of these things, and also the encouragement, because there are bad days in this business. There are days when people in the newspaper say bad things about you. Well, it's never happened to me, because I was never controversial. But, you know, why don't men like Tim? There are things that are said about you that aren't flattering. And there are days that it feels like nobody agrees with you. And there are days that you just don't feel like doing one more thing. And so to the extent that you can encourage Tim, that is very helpful. But I am confident that when I come back here from North Carolina to spend election night at home, that we're going to see Tim win and hold this seat that you have. And that he is going to hopefully be part of the Republican majority. And let me tell you, we're seeing something up at the Senate that's a little bit interesting. And that is that, you're all aware of this, the majority controls the legislature. If you have the majority, you have the gavels, the chairmanships, and all the committees, and it's very important, and the lobbyists tend to spend the vast majority of their time with the majority. And lobbyists seem to be paying a little bit more attention to Republican legislators in the Senate right now. And there's kind of this undertone that, you know what, we may really have a shot at this. And we've got some great senators that are working extremely hard on our elections committee, people that, like Senator Pratt, my colleague back there, who was kind enough to come out here to support Tim today, and that are working extremely hard to make sure that we hold, or that we get the majority. And obviously we need the House to hold the majority. I have served in all three scenarios, where the House and the Senate were both Republican, the House and the Senate were both Democratic, and it was split. And I can tell you that having those gavels makes a huge difference. Now we have to make sure that Tim's not in jeopardy. We have to make sure that when we get to July and August, he's in a comfortable position to win, so that resources can be put into those races that we know are going to be tough and where we need to take over a seat. And there are lots of opportunities out there this year. So, with that, you've got a great candidate, you've got a guy that I absolutely know is going to work every day to do everything he can to hold this seat. And I ask you to do the same, to help him so that we can be certain that this seat stays in Republican hands. With that, it is an honor to introduce your next Senator, Tim Pitcher.
Thank you so much. I'm almost speechless, but I can't be speechless. This is absolutely amazing. Let's all give Senator Thompson another hand for being principled. Senator Thompson, the thing I really like about him is he said he was going to be principled, and he was, and he is. And most importantly, I want to assure you that I am very principled myself, and I will be. You can see on my smaller signs, principled conservative leadership. That is exactly what you're going to get. So rest assured, that's what will occur. So, but yeah, one thing I got to say is I have to follow up 2 professional talkers. In the words of Sue Jeffers, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. So anyway, the state of our campaign is strong and it's growing. The state of Minnesota is overtaxed. Pure and simple. And we need to rein in some of the taxes. When we have a situation where people are actually leaving our state, they're fleeing our state. I don't care if it's seniors, families, corporations, CEOs. You know, we've lost billions of dollars over the past couple of years because people are leaving us. Well, that's not right whatsoever. So we need to actually start streamlining some of the business regulations, reducing some of our income taxes. Those are too high, but I really think we need to start with eliminating the Social Security tax and the taxes on veteran benefits. So hopefully we can get that addressed this session. I don't know if we can or not. If we can't, that's going to be paramount. That needs to happen. So, and I want to assure you also is I'm not going to vote for tax increases whatsoever. I signed the Taxpayers League pledge of no new taxes and no new gas taxes. So I will sign that every year. Okay, so rest assured, taxes will not increase. In fact, what I'm going to do, hopefully when I'm in the Senate next year, is first things that I'm going to ask whenever a bill comes up, what is it going to do to our freedoms and liberties? Is it constitutional? And is it a tax? Okay, so that's paramount right there. Okay, so education, we've got a really great school district here in Lakeville and also Farmington and the rest of our district. We're actually doing pretty good, but we shouldn't just have to have public schools. It's okay for parents send their kids to charter schools, religious schools, homeschool. Homeschool is great, so I will absolutely stand up for parental rights, local control, and the parents' ability to choose whatever school they want to go to. Very, very important. Let's get on a subject that we all know quite a bit about, transportation, okay? The government is responsible for safe roads and bridges. All of our roads should be safe, okay? Well, we've got certain situations where we've got bottlenecks. Why do we have bottlenecks? If this is one of the most important things the government should be doing, we should be going like Cedar, going north through Apple Valley. It's 3 lanes, goes down to 2, and then back up to 3 again. Make it 3 all the way across. Eliminate who wants to sit in traffic jams and stress your life out. So that is very, very important. And another thing on transportation, all these light rails and Southwest light rail, zip rail, no. That's one word, no. Zip rail would go through our district. There's no way I would be voting for that. Okay? So another thing I want to touch on is this Senate seat. If you look at the past few elections, okay, Republicans have won each of the last few elections, okay? So you would think it's a safe Senate district, right? You think, no big deal, right? No, not this time. Unfortunately, we have a little problem, a little situation, okay? We've got the Democrat mayor of Lakeville that has been endorsed by the Democrats. You wouldn't know it because it's not in the paper. It's not in his literature. It's not on his website. It's nowhere. Okay, so he's hiding it. Why is he hiding it? Because he knows as much as the word gets out in this Republican district that he's a Democrat, he doesn't have much of a chance. Okay? So that is all being hidden. So it's up to, yes, I know, it's up to us to make sure every time we talk about their candidate, it's Democrat, his name. Okay, we got to make sure we say Democrat on everything. I don't care if it's letters to the editor, that has to be out there, okay? So he's raised a lot of money already. He's raised $45,000, $50,000 from what I hear, which is significantly more than what I've raised. And he's been at this for quite a while. So it's going to be a challenge, okay? And he's going to work hard for it. But I can assure you I will work harder. Okay, I door knocked 6,500 homes in like 2.5 months in Lakeville. If I have to go to 28,000 homes, guess what? I'm going to 25 or 28,000 homes. However many pairs of shoes I got to wear out, I'm going to wear them out. My body's great. I got no problems. I love it. But if I go to the doctor to get my cholesterol checked, guess what? I probably won't have any because of all the exercise. So anyway, what I want to make sure you know, I'm going to work like a bulldog to protect our seat. This is your seat. I don't see that as my seat. I am here to serve you, and that's the only reason I'm running. I don't need the ego boost. That's not me whatsoever. And the more you get to know me, the more you know this is true. So anyway, in closing, we have a few volunteer positions open. So if you'd like to volunteer, we need a volunteer coordinator, we need a business liaison, a couple other positions, people to help put in signs, that would be great. But importantly, I need to fundraise. And if you can donate, whatever it is, $25, $50, $100, anything up to $1,000 per person, that would be wonderful. But ask your friends and neighbors as well, and they don't have to be in the district. Okay, it's going to be needed, and it's really going to take a lot. But like I say, I will be a bulldog for you. We have to have this win in November 8th. So 2 days after my birthday. So that's what I want for a birthday present. Anyway, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. Take care. Thank you.
All right, I get to tell you the there's still cake in the back. They're going to be cutting it right now, so go celebrate with a little cake. Pardon me? Farmington New Day Parade. We need volunteers for that. We need volunteers for Panther. We need volunteers for just about everything. So if you just got a few minutes, if you want to go door knocking, if you don't want to hang out with Tim, you can go door knocking with me because I'll do that for him. So it's always more entertaining if you go with me, by the way. All right. So enjoy the cake. Thank you for coming. And